Hello everybody, it's Hump Day Wednesday. It's colder brass monkey weather, put it that way. Enough to freeze the balls off a brass monkey out there. It's so cold I even have a sweater for my cup of tea. Somebody made that for me. That's the color of for fibromyalgia, in case anybody suffers out there. I do. Just saying, but sometimes it's good to feel a little pain. Makes you feel alive, just saying. So anyway, today I'm going to talk about a little lady named Katie Frost. Haven't heard much about her, but lately she's been popping up on all the different news shows. She is a GOP strategist. And all I can say is, holy baloney, this chick. She used to be Ted Cruz's aide when he ran for president against the Mango Moose Knuckle back in 2015, 2016. Now, she used to look totally different. In fact, when I seen her on CNN the other day, I didn't even recognize her. The voice sounded familiar, the name looked familiar, but totally different new face. Totally. She looked fine before, like she wasn't totally unfortunate looking. She looked fine. But back then, I think she was in early days of college or something back then. Maybe a little later. But anyway, it doesn't matter. But she used to hang out with Ted in identical outfits. Seeing a picture of them out in a field. They had the exact same jeans, same top stitching, same everything. They had the exact same belt with buckled the exact same way. And it was like a little flip over like this. And it had one of those little steel caps on the end. Exactly the same. They were done up. They both had the same vests on, white shirts. Only, and cozying up, they each had shotguns. Just saying. And each of them seemed pretty friendly. I don't know if it was as friendly as him and Handjob Harlot were, but I digress. But only her shirt for a little church girl was buttoned way too low, if you ask me. So anyway, she would post pictures of Ted backstage with his two little girls. It was really cute. As Ted was going over a speech, and they had those big cheerleader bows in the back of their head there. And she posted these pictures. I think it was the day of or the day after. Can't forget. That anyway, that Trump was up there saying that, he's nasty, his wife's ugly, his father assassinated JFK or organized it or some fucking thing. But she was all in on Ted. All in 100%. And she didn't like Trump at all. She didn't like him at all. But now she's all in on Trump, like 100%. She got the face and she got the script. So much so that she's talking the talk, defending the pervert felon-in-chief, all while wearing her little silver crucifix prominently displayed for the CNN cameras. And that light just pinged off that really well. Now, she is a useless guest, in my opinion, because she never answers the question. She's a dyed-in-the-wool MAGA. She spouts her script, word for word, doesn't deviate. I don't know how many times a day she goes over this, but she doesn't deviate. She goes over that thing word for word. And the one thing I have noticed about these maids of mayhem is when they get on for lack of a better, I call them information stations, mainstream media, whatever, like CNN, is that they have learned their lines so well that nobody asks them any questions, so they don't know how to deviate from those lines. Everything is so rehearsed. But when they're asked a question that doesn't pertain to the script that they have that day, they're out there like crow bait in a field or on the side of a road. They are crow bait. They start to get that glazed over look in their eyes like, oh, Jesus, what do I do now, look? And they can't for the life of them comprehend what the person's asking them, or their minds are spinning so bad as to how to get back onto their script so they can talk, or they're not sure what they're allowed to say. And I mean allowed to say. She was on News Nation. Oh, sweet Jesus. Katie Frost is a GOP strategist, and she's the former director of the Georgia Freedom Caucus. You notice they want freedom for folks in the United States, but only for the ones that look like them, act like them, and pray like them? Yeah. The host asked her about Trump's tariffs and the 60% being posted to China. See, people mistake the last bunch of tariffs that he put out around the world, like Canada's getting 25%, Mexico's getting 25%, and China's getting 10%. That 10% is over and above the 50% that they already have. So that's why it's a 60% tariff on China. So one fellow that was talking said that that's only a bargaining chip that Trump uses because he's a businessman. You friggin', 3 casinos in 2 years. Let's talk. So she says, I think people are going to see an economic boon, like Daniel Boone, I don't know. But under President Trump, just as we seen in his first administration, and going back to what Norquist said about using tariffs as a bargaining chip, President Trump is a consummate deal maker. He literally wrote the book, The Art of the Deal. No, Katie, he didn't. That was Tony Schwartz that wrote that book. Trump only takes credit for it. Schwartz followed him around for 3 months to write that book. Just saying. If he could write the stuff that went on that Trump didn't approve of, sweet Jesus, that would have been a good book. That would have been, you would have had to put it under fiction. You wouldn't have believed it. I don't believe the first one either, but. So anyway, so of course, he is going to want to negotiate with China and with these other countries and bring tariffs into the conversation, which is a big part of that. Look, when he did those tariffs, the Biden administration kept them all in place. Yes, you twit. Of course Biden kept them in place because of the human rights violations that China was inflicting on people like the Uyghurs and many others. So yeah, that's why they remained in place. And they were sanctioned a few times under Biden as well. Nobody mentioned that part, though. One element that has not been discussed nearly enough is President Trump has talked about President Trump has talked about is not just energy independence for the United States of America, but energy dominance. You're already the top friggin' oil producer in the world now. Even OPEC is bowing down to you. And this is something that will bring down the cost of goods for people tremendously because every product has an energy cost attached to it. So why weren't the Republicans all squawking about this during season 1 when Trump was president? Nobody said anything about that. Goods were still delivered the same way. And it wasn't until COVID hit that the Mango Moose Knuckle did nothing. He said it wasn't a China problem. They had it all under control. Inject disinfectant. Can we try that? How about shove a black light up your arse? Ultraviolet light under the skin somehow. It's like the flu. It's going to go away. It's going to go away in the spring. Everybody's going to be in church for Easter Sunday. It'll go away when the heat hits it. It goes away in a minute. 1 minute. Remember that? Masks are only a suggestion. I'm not going to wear one. No, because you get your makeup all over it. And he said, no testing. Slow the testing down. That's how he said, I asked my people, slow the testing down. He sounded like the Rain Man. But anyway, people panicked. Grocery stores emptied. And when you can't get something, it ends up in short supply. Greed takes over. Instead of taking what you need, it became the second coming of a zombie apocalypse. Well, maybe the first coming, because I don't remember. Yeah, it'd have to be the first coming. But anyway, and I bet there's still people out there that have a couple cases of toilet paper left over from 2020 and probably a whole cupboard full of bottled water. I'm just saying from the early days of lockdown. So corporations said, hey, these people are desperate. Let's take advantage of our fellow Americans and charge them up the ass for things they need, like cough syrup, Tylenol, diapers, baby formula, milk, medications for folks who needed hydroxychloroquine, say that 10 times fast, for other diseases. They were running short and had to ration it because Trump said that it was a cure for COVID. And Trump did nothing to obstruct the shipping lanes because he didn't want those ships pulling into harbor and having people get off to make his numbers go up. Didn't seem to matter because it took him almost 2 months before he stopped flights from China coming in. That didn't mean that the ones from China hadn't already spread all across Europe and came from Italy and France and all the rest of stuff and came over. That's how it came, because he didn't shut the airlines down. He didn't shut the airports down at all. He just stopped flights from China. Let's get that out there. He didn't want those numbers going up, so couldn't offload the ships. So there was a big backlog in the channel. So one of the first things that Biden-Harris did was to talk to dock workers and the unions and get them working around the clock, 24 hours a day, to get those ships unloaded and get that merchandise moving. That was Joe Biden that did that. And the night Joe Biden became president, sulky baby Trump stomped around and stopped being president. Even though we still had 3 months left and COVID was still running rampant, he decided to go play golf at Mar-a-Lago and have Diet Cokes with Viktor Orban from Hungary and Bolsonaro from Brazil, who incidentally, I believe today, was just charged for his right-wing coup to seize power in Brazil after he was voted out. But he too says he denies breaking the law. There's a lot of that on the Republican side right now. The felon-in-chief should not be in the White House. He should be in the big house. Now, all Trump did during the last 3 months was hold Stop the Steal meetings in the White House with the Proud Boys, who are a terrorist organization in Canada and are banned. Maggie Trader Green, Rudy, the drunk Giuliani, Roger Stone, the dirty trickster, Jeffrey Clark, total feckin' Egypt, Ted Cruz, couple other, I can't remember them right now, Ron Johnson and them, having little meetings. And tweeted like there was no tomorrow, just tweeted his ass out about how it was absolutely impossible for Joe Biden to win and for him to lose. Well, it couldn't have been because of the way he handled COVID, and most of the people that voted for Joe Biden, their family members died. Just saying. Couldn't have been because he was an arsehole or anything like that. But they were fine. They're going to find out now. Because now Katie Frost says everything has an energy cost attached to it, whether it's getting raw materials to the manufacturer or the energy it takes to power the factories that things are made in. And a lot of our foods have oil products in them, which we shouldn't be eating. Yes, they do, Katie. Stuff like the no-name brands of mayonnaise or the cheese slices, ones that look greasy when you, all those things. They are classed on the package as an edible petroleum oil product. 10W40, anyone? Pour some of that over your sundae. So anyway, she says, when we bring down the cost of oil and gas, that will bring down the price of goods. Okay, Katie. Fuck all the way off with that, okay? Because that's not going to happen. Do you really think that all them big corporate multi-billionaires up there and all their shareholders and all those food chain stores are going to claw back the billions of dollars that they've made in profit since 2020, since COVID? You don't think they're going to start magically just handing that and doling that back, do you? And bringing down prices? Once they got that money, they ain't giving it up. Just telling you. They made a killing gouging you, the people. They gouged the supreme shit out of the consumers. Gas could be $1 a gallon, and food prices won't drop. So get that shit out of your head. They're not regulated. That's the problem. Kamala and Harris and Tim Walz, they were going to go after corporate greed and make them bring down prices. And they were going to do it geared to like cost of living and stuff like that. If the cost of living's getting up there too high, then they can't raise the price of food. They have to keep it within the cost of living that everybody else has. If you're, say your paycheck's only going up 2 or 3%, that should be all. They should be able to raise food prices or raise rent. That's me. But anyway, they just gouge the shit out of everybody and they don't care. Kamala Harris also got junk fees down, which that's another thing Trump did this week with the stroke of his little Sharpie there. He got rid of that ban. All this shit he's getting rid of is because it's got Biden's name on it. That's the only reason. It's the only reason, because he wasn't smart enough to think of it himself. So somebody else did, so bang, he's got to get rid of it. But they were going to bring down junk fees on banks, because now junk fees are going back up to like $35 a month, when Joe had them down to $5 a month, because that's all it takes. Administratively, I guess you could say administrative costs drive me mental, but that's about all it costs to print all that stuff out is $5, not 35 or 40. They got rid of junk fees on airlines, costing you an extra, or charging you rather, an extra fee to have your own child sit beside you because they didn't do the seating chart right on the aircraft. In order for that child to come back to sit there, they charge you a fee for that. It's your own kid. They should be sitting beside you in the first place. I don't want some pervert like Trump there or friggin' Matt Gaetz cozying up to my kid. Seriously. I want my kid where I can see them. But yeah, they charged a fee for that. They also, Ticketmaster, remember that? How much extra fees they were charging? Biden and Harris got rid of all that stuff. Travel industry, all kinds of add-ons for that. But Trump couldn't have that, or Biden's lower drug prices. Oh, Jesus, can't have that. Doesn't say Trump on it. Doesn't have the big gold letters. So the stroke of the Sharpie, there they are gone. So your grandmother that was paying $35 a month for her insulin is now up over $600. But because Trump promised all these big shareholders and all that stuff, you know, for a mere $1 billion donation, I'll roll back the regulations for you and make sure that your bottom line gets even better. $1 billion, people. Going once, going twice, and they all jumped in on it. So why is it then when Democrats pass bills that are going for the good of the whole country, everybody's going, oh no, they're spending too much government money, socialists, they're Leninists, they're Marxists, they're communists. But Trump and MAGA show up this season and they got the whole fucking government. They're going to do a 60 to 75% reduction in Medicare, Medicaid, and Social Security. Thank God there's a smart judge in Washington that said, oh, no, you don't, hold the fuck up. That's not happening right now. You're on time out. So there's a little pause on that. But yeah, having insulin go up from $35 to over $600 is ridiculous. Absolutely ridiculous. And they allowed, apparently Mussolini isn't part of Doge, he has nothing to do with it, but his name's all over it, and his merry band of friggin' teenage hackers are running amok in there. And they're in all of your medical records, including what procedures you had, what state, if you're a woman and you had to travel out of state for a procedure, all that's in there. Thumb drive. And I'm not even going to apologize for that. Those little bastards are doing that. I know they are. In my heart, I'm a parent. I know what kids can do. Lying little bastards. But anyway, all that stuff, they're into the VA. They have your bank numbers, your routing numbers, the VA, how much you're getting paid, where you did your service, everything else, your service numbers, so they can get into all that. All of your personal medical records, your spouse, their information, your address, all that personal stuff. So they got your social security number, your bank number, your routing number, your spouse's name and address, and that's all they really need to go through everything and hack the supreme shit out of your life. That's all they need. So there's that. And the other thing is, all the ones that are making all these decisions about slashing all this for the government, slashing this, slashing that, everything that Elon is slashing is all the agencies that have lawsuits against him or Trump. That's right. All those people have come after them for screwing up and not following the laws. So there's that. And they're so rich that no matter what cuts they make, it's not going to hurt them. They can afford it. They can afford anything. They can afford all the hospital care they want. They can fly their kids to the best hospital in the world on a private jet. They don't need stinking government insurance. They don't need that. They got enough to pay cash. Right there. So anyway, this is me going almost 20 minutes. So this is the longest one I've ever did. Let's see what the old fart bag's got to say today. Take that, Putin. Yeah, I bet you take that back. But anyway, 9 allows you to be good, be safe. Please take care of you first so you can take care of somebody else. I love you. Mwah. Take care of you.